Now, shamanism has become quite trendy. It's a bit like it was couple of years behind Tantra in becoming very more known, thankfully, more widely accessed. And it's a huge subject and a huge area, and some of you may have studied it, in depth. For those that don't know what it is, I use a very simple definition, and you will get 100 definitions probably if you look on Google. But the one I like to relate to most is that shamanism was the systems or practices that were developed to support healing and to problem solve in communities. And these were developed in many different cultures around the world, in Celtic areas where I'm from, in South America, in Africa, in North America, in Australasia. And essentially they were processes, models, techniques, experiences designed to help the human condition, to problem solve and to heal. And often they involved connections with the other worlds. Now, you don't have to even believe in the other worlds in order to have an experience here today, so don't get caught up on that if you happen to be someone who doesn't resonate with that. But also one of the common things is they tended to use things like drums and rhythm or breath or plant medicines or animal guides. There's many different paths and many different expressions of shamanism. For me, it's been an extremely powerful addition to, before I really, studied more deeply with a shamanic teacher. I was focusing for the couple of years prior to that on Tantra. And what I noticed when I started working with shamanic energy for me was there's like an element of the soul. There was an element of the soul and connection to ancestors and connection to my own inner wisdom that came through more strongly for me using shamanic practices. Tantra had given me many, many things, opened my heart, opened my sexual energy, opened my connection to spirit. But there was something else that came when I actually started exploring my own shamanic capacity. And what's really important to me is that in the days gone by, shamanism was more or less the practice of specific specialists. You went to a shaman and they took a journey for you, or someone guided you to meet your spirit animal. Everything was done through someone else, and this was very much the Piscean model of working with human conditions and healing, was that most human beings needed some intermediate between them and whatever they were accessing. And with the shift to Aquarian age and healing and understanding that each of us has the capacity in ourselves to bring forward and activate anything that we need. So this is you taking yourself on a journey today. I will create the space, I will give you the information, I will share with you techniques how to do it, and then you'll find your own way. But it's you taking yourself on the journey, you accessing what you need inside yourself, what you need to become aware of, what you need to let go of, what you need to connect with. And it's really important to understand that, and it's really empowering to understand that actually we have everything we need within us in order to shift things for ourselves, but we sometimes need circumstances or supports or access points to actually be able to connect with them. So just take a breath into that, and maybe you're someone who really knows that. Maybe you know your deeper inner self, maybe you know your own power to call up your soul, your spirit, to access the part of you that can shift anything. And maybe you've never been in touch with that, or maybe you haven't been in touch with that since you were a child. I had a very academic life for many years, and so my brain was completely taken up by facts and figures and completely taken away from the more non-physical, non-mental aspects of myself, and it took me quite some time to re-access those and reconnect to those. But I remember knowing them when I was a child. That sense of magic, that sense of having spirit supporting you, that sense of your, connection with nature that was more wondrous. All of these things, this kind of innocent magic that many of us knew when we were young, and some maybe didn't. but it's about reconnecting with that part of yourself.